Good morning and a happy new year. Today is the 2nd of January 2024 and I'm going to go through my trade plan for today. Cleaned up all my charts, nice easy levels. I'm going to keep it as simple as possible. Before I start, let's look at any news today. 9:45 we've got an average market moving news event, manufacturing PMI, so keep an eye on that if you're in a trade, but no major news today. Tomorrow 10 AM is the first major news. Got a bit in the morning at 7, and then we've got ISM and we've got job openings and got FMOC minutes tomorrow as well, so big news day tomorrow, and so just keep an eye on that tomorrow. So today nothing really apart from something at 9:45, so keep an eye on that, and that's in 42 minutes. Okay, so let's take a look at the charts. New year, I don't really make New Year's resolutions as such, but I do make monthly goals, weekly goals and even daily goals. So my monthly goals for January are to stick to my levels better, stop fabricating trades when I'm bored, and be patient. And boredom and patience are two things which go hand in hand, and they're the ones which normally leads to my red days where I get bored, I make a trade up. I clean my charts up and I've got some better predefined levels. Let's just start off with the weekly, see where we are on the weekly. This is the MES S&P index futures, the weekly time frame, and you can see we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 green weeks, and we're just starting to get a bit of a red pullback. We're due a big pullback, and potentially we could see a little bit of a pullback. If we do continue this pullback, we can't say that 4600 is not an unreasonable place for it to come back to. Healthy pullback before it then maybe want to continue. I've made all-time highs in December as well, which is not bad considering the economy as it is, high interest rates, and that's it. So we've got this area to watch for, 4600 as a major pullback area if we do get back to that area, but we won't focus on that right now. That'll probably be a swing trade if we get down there. Daily, you can see we've been in this channel for some time, and we're just starting to break that channel now. So we've just broken through there, but we'll see where today ends, whether we can close below this lower channel, and that's linked up using these two pivots. And then I just cloned the channel, and it kind of gives us an idea where it could be, the upper half. But you can see we put in this double top, slight, we made another all-time high just there as well, so we are potentially looking for a possible pullback, and it won't be unreasonable to say this area as a potential pullback area for a bounce. Obviously that's the daily, not unreasonable for this weekly area as well to come into play, 4600. Okay, so let's go into the hourly chart and just see what levels we've got for today. Firstly, I'm watching, we are in an uptrend still, and if you saw on the weekly and daily, it's just an uptrend, and we're having a little bit of a pullback. So with not having too much bias in mind, I do want to maybe still continue with the long bias, and I'm kind of watching this area for potential bounce. So I got my first level is at 47.59.25, 47.60 area for a bounce if we come back down to here. And then I'm also watching 47.44.25 or 47.45 as another bounce. Just to note, we are below the 200 on the hourly, and we're below the 50 on the hourly, so we are in an hourly downtrend. But if we can come back up here, touch this trend line maybe, and then confirm the downtrend, that will give us a much better scope for this trade. But anyway, I'm watching these two areas. These are my bounce areas. And as for rejection, I quite like this area here. Happens to be where the 200 moving average is as well. That area is 48.09.25, maybe 48.10, and we've got an area of confluence as well. So we've got bottoms of candles over here, tops of candles here, kind of bottoms there, but the 200, and it's a good area we can pull back into. Maybe with a bit of time, we may be coinciding it with the touch of this trend line as well at the same time. So 48.09 for a higher risk rejection. but we also got 48.27, 48.28 as a higher probability rejection, and that's if we're going to be putting in this little head and shoulders pattern. We kind of put in the right shoulder, so I'm kind of waiting for the pullback, the break and retest short. It's not a very defined head and shoulders pattern, but you can see it. You know, it's arguable where you want the neckline to be. Neckline could be there, and that will be on that trend line, or you could ignore, you could go with the area confluence for the neckline. That brings it up to the 48.010 area. But these areas I'm watching for, and obviously we got using these pivots for our entries for the bounce or for the rejection. We've got defined stop losses, and my stop losses will be a couple of ticks below these or a couple of ticks above there. And maybe we can watch all-time highs for rejection as well. Looking at level 2, let's bring that in. I'm using what think with bookmap. You can see we've got level 2 sitting at 47.90, and we've got 48.05 as well. So these are the areas to watch for in here. So just to confirm, 48.05, we have got a lot of sellers, potential sellers sitting there, and that coincides roughly with the 48.09 level I've got as well. So we could watch that area, and basically I'm looking at this bit here. So just so you can see it, I'll draw an arrow to it. That area there on bookmap, you can see 48.05, and then for bounces 47.75. So potential, we've got not much down there. I'm looking for higher than average. There's no higher than average areas for bounces as well. Doesn't quite go down to 44. Nice to see where we are, whether we've got any buyers down here, but that's something I can watch for later anyway. I've got level 2. Oh, I'll look later. So anyway, they're my levels. They're my levels. If you've got level 2, maybe with Ninja or with your platform, then you can have a look down at these areas and see whether you've got any higher than average ES buyers, and that will be like 300 contracts or more sitting there, limit orders sitting there for buying. That's kind of how I see where we've got limit orders. I'm going to have a look. Let me just open up level 2 here. So let's have this open so we can see it. Oh. Have that next to it, side by side. Oh, in fact it's not open yet, so I only go down to 75 as well, so it doesn't really go down far. And you can see we haven't got really anything. And then 47.90 up here, we've got, oh, it's just come off, but it was about 275 limit orders sitting there. Nothing major yet. It doesn't really show until the market opens, but they're all looking at similar areas to what I'm watching as well. So just to recap, we're watching this area for rejection, this one for a higher risk rejection, because, well, at the time I did my levels we were about here, so it would have been higher risk, but it might be just a rejection. Maybe the stop can be above the 200. And then we've got these areas here for bounces, this area and this area, and a couple of ticks below the pivots will be my stops. So that's it, nice and simple. 2 bounce areas, 2 rejection areas. SPY, very similar. I haven't defined it as much. I've cleared all my drawings and all my charts, all my ones I look at the most. So we've got this area defined, 476.10 as a rejection area on the 50, rejected that 50 quite nicely, broke through it, came back, retested it and rejected. And we're now below the 200 as well, come back. So we keep an eye on that area. So if we come back up here, we can look for a rejection. And I quite like the bounce again, similar to ES, where we've got bottoms of pivots there, and a bit of a gap as well. And that'll be 468.76. That's all I'll be watching on SPY. Like I said, I'm trying to keep it simple now. I'll just go back, updated this. So we've got this line, 479.98, I think is the all-time high, that area. I've just marked it as a line so I can see it. So SPY is not, it's not breached all-time highs yet, even though ES and I think Qs may have done as well. I can't quite remember, I need to double check. And I know NQ has. Looking at Qs, got a couple of areas here. Got a bounce area, 403.50. and a rejection at 410 area, and obviously we've got these highs as well at 413, 11 for rejection. That's Qs. I'm actually short Qs right now, so doing okay. I'm glad I held through. I was short here actually, and I took some profit at the bottom and I held the rest, and I held it through, and I shorted again up there. So I'm looking to take profit today. We're coming back down to these areas. My target was this 20 moving average, or the 400 area. When I say I'm short Qs, I'm actually long SQQ. So this is what I'm long SQQ. I think I bought there and I bought there. So these are the areas. So my average price is down here, so I'm doing okay on that. And again on SQQs, I was waiting for an area. Obviously 14, this area I was kind of waiting for a potential exit. And then I did have an area of confidence on the daily. Kind of mainly use daily for. And the area I was watching for was here. Kind of 15.50, similar area, down to 16. That's the area I'm waiting for. In fact, I'm just going to mark that as a daily level to remind myself. And I'll put an alert. So that's kind of what I'm watching. My contracts expire at the end of the month, so I've got some time still. Daily. That's my daily level. But, you know, I'm going to take profit here. That's kind of my target. That's what I've always been targeting, which is 14.45. But anyway, that's a decent swing, short or long, depending on what you're looking at. That's the Nasdaq. Oh, sorry, that's Q. So Nasdaq. I've got a bounce area at 16,762.50. This area here, you could potentially. Oh, we've already touched it. There you go. I was going to say this area as well, and we've already got down there today as well. So I won't mark that. This is the area to watch really, 16,760. And then rejections back up here again, maybe rejecting off of the 50. This area confluence as well, so between 17,034 to probably 17,050 area, which is the tops of these, of this red day we had. That's kind of the area I was watching for around here, so I'll put that in as well. This area here I quite like, kind of there, but I think there maybe I can look. Let's just set that to hourly. So around that area, 17,100 to 17, probably there to 1775. That's the area to watch. Okay, oil. I've not actually looked at oil today, so I don't know how we're doing. We kind of had a little bit of a pullback into this point of control. Kind of watching for it to come down here for a double bounce, for a double bottom I meant, for a bounce. There's no real plays at the moment on the hourly. Still looking, still in this down trend on the daily. And what are we doing now? Are we going to come in, come back down and make a new low, or are we going to come back down and make a double bottom? So this is the area I'm watching for. See, and then I'll be looking to get the buy set up. So like this one here, come in, looking for higher volume as well to show me it's at the end, and I'm looking to get in probably at that point there. I may just get a small position down here as well as for a bounce, but nothing at the moment. What's this? You could say this is a cup and saucer pattern, and we've broken that. We've broken the inverse cup and saucer, and we've broken that bear flag. So a few days ago. So potentially we're heading back down to there. So something to keep an eye on. Gold as well. I'm keeping an eye on. I'm not sure. I've not even looked at that. So we had that initial spike a few days ago, and looking bullish. That's on the weekly. Go to the daily. Look at that. How bullish is that? I think we were going to wait for it to pull back down to this area. We saw it squeeze there. We was watching this squeeze initially a couple months ago, and it didn't materialise, but it did come back up. So maybe we'll get back down to 20.56 for a potential bounce. Haven't quite made it there yet. I'll revisit this. Yeah, there's a few levels we can watch for, but it's still looking pretty bullish. Volume's declining at the moment, which you get is on a bit of a pullback, so I reckon we could see it come back, but we'll keep an eye on. There's no trades on that at the moment as well. Topping tails as well, and a few red days. So I'm really watching ES at the moment, or MES, and potentially, we're on the hourly, potentially watching it, you know what, potentially if we're using this trend line, this is the daily trend line, it's maybe not as accurate, let's just react. Okay, potentially we've broken that trend line now. We could watch the pullback, which will be into these moving averages, and at the bottom of that pivot there, kind of an area to watch for a potential short around that area. You know, I'm going to add that in as well as a high risk rejection. Let's put that in. There. High risk rejection at 47.97 to 4800. So add that into today's play. That area there, cross of that, and obviously into the moving averages as well potentially. And if I zoom out, how does that coincide? Oh, look at that! No coincidences at all. Bottom of that pivot, trend line, bottom of these pivots, top of those pivots, a bit of consolidation and a breakout and a retest, and the tops of those areas. I'm sure we went back further, we'll probably find more. Yes, so I quite like that area as well for a higher risk rejection, 4800 back down. Okay, that's it really. Nothing else. Okay, hopefully you have a good day trading. New year, stick to your goals, be patient and trade safe.